welcome to fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. We're here to talk about the wonderful and amazing FileMaker platform, and I am very lucky to be here today with both HOnza and Vince Manano. Hi, you two. How you two doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to see you both. Yes, no, HOnza is coming back. HOnza has had a habit of doing interview Thursday with us on like chunks of time for the last, I'd say, year, couple months. I don't know. You've done a lot of, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we
done a,
started last year, definitely.
yeah,
I think
okay.
October, I guess.
Yes. I was trying to like mentally do the math 'cause it's been a while, but Hans will come through and slide to do some really awesome interviews with us for like chunks of time, which he is finishing up his current chunk right now. They're all on really fascinating, really interesting topics. Today we are continuing a discussion that we started Thursday last week with Vince Manano about go-to list of records, which is a new script step coming out with FileMaker 25, and the advanced uses that you can put that basically, how can I turn this in my advantage in really cool ways? Real quick, you do this 5 days a week. We stream on 3 platforms. We stream on Discord, YouTube, and Twitch. Twitch and YouTube are on a 90-second delay. So don't worry, I have seen your question. We are not just moving past and ignoring you. You just need to catch up to us. With that all being said, I'm kind of content to turn it over to you, Hansa. So do you want to introduce who you are, why you're here, what we're doing, all that fun jazz?
Yeah, why not? So I'm Honza from 2 I'm known as a mad optimizer in the FileMaker community because for many, many years, I focus on leveraging the most out of FileMaker in terms of performance. I also deal with hardware integrations, and those are the main specialties that we do in 2 software, which you can find on our website, 2 which you will see right here. So you'll see that here we have hardware integrations, and under the tools, you can find FMBench and BenchTest, our optimization and benchmarking tools. And BenchTest is actually a database that you can download for free, test the performance of your FileMaker configuration, compare it to others, publish and compare the results with I think now over 500 results already published from other members of the community. And I will be using that bench test database, which you can see here. Here also to show you more about the list of go to a list of records. So today we are going to talk about more advanced topics about the go to list of records. If you were not participating in the last week's live stream, make sure to watch it from the recording. I don't want to repeat everything, but we'll give you some basic intro before we talk about the technical details. And with me is Vince Manano, who is author of the popular FileMaker Pro, recently released as a free tool, which was an amazing announcement. And Vince has done a lot in testing and exploring that new feature. And he has some great ideas on how to use it. And he has actually done a lot that would be even easier with this feature when he had it 2 years ago, but he didn't have it, so he had to do a different way. But we can talk about it a little bit. So Vince, do you want to say something about what you do?
No, I'm just happy to be here and have this discussion with you. So yeah, let's dive in.
Okay, so brief reminder what the new features are. Basically, we are talking about a combo of of a function and a script step. So here you can see a very simple test database with 26 records. I can switch to a table view of them. And if, let's say, I omit some of them randomly, so that I have a like smaller font set, I can go to data viewer, and here I can use a function called get record IDs from font set. And there are various different options how I can get the found set. If I use 0 here, I just get a plain list of IDs, which are actually the internal IDs you can get with the get record ID. But there are different formats as well. This 0 is actually a real value of a constant that I believe is called value numbers or number values. I never remember which which syntax is the right one.
Not number value, maybe singular.
Number value. No.
I also don't remember. Just use 0 for now. We'll look at it.
I never recall that, but
I think they're reserved words. I think they ended up being reserved words now.
yeah, they are. But the point is, all those constants are defined, but not available in the calc dialog. It would be cool if we could reveal those in the calc dialog as well, or the same way we can use the get function and we get the list of all the constants here. So that would be cool if we could get those for the record IDs here as well. Or the JSON constants. That's another great example. You have to remember whether it's JSON number, JSON string, but we could get autocomplete here as well. I believe MBS plugin does that, but
try value number.
Value number.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's it. And we have also a variant, value number ranges. And that gives me a short list. So for instance, if there are IDs like 1, 2, 3, I get just this abbreviated form, which can give me a quite compact representation of the found set. If I use JSON number instead of value number, I get a JSON array. Oh, I cannot use ranges with the number because that's not a valid number. But if I use JSON string, I get the list, the found set this way. And now I can use ranges. And it gives me similarly abbreviated or shorter compact version of that found set. And all these forms can be used as a parameter or option for a new script step, which is called go to list of records. So I have something hard-coded here in this test script step. And when I just run the script, it restores the found set. I can just change it. I can list off all records and run the script again and restores the found set again. That the one I have hard-coded in the script. So I always get the same found set. So this is the new feature that we are going to talk about. And last week I also was showing some result of testing performance of this and performance impact of these features. And I was comparing it to the popular go to related records. So for instance, here, if I randomly select 1,000 numbers, 1,000 records out of 100,000, and try to reveal them using go to related records, it takes me about 39 milliseconds to reveal those 1,000 numbers. If I use the new feature, the go to list of records, get the same 1,000 records, it takes me just 4 milliseconds. So I was showing some charts last week as well, revealing that with higher number of records, the difference can be huge. So for instance, here I have tested over the internet, and when I show the chart, so here just a reminder, the wider bar means faster in this tool. And this actually shows me that the new method, depending on the format, compared to the go-to-related records was between about 13 and 18 times faster. So that's a huge change. Of course, so you can say that you don't care about 4 milliseconds, but if you, for any reason, need to do these things in a loop for like many iterations, you will care about every millisecond for sure. But let's go a little bit more advanced with this. What does it actually mean that it takes only 4 milliseconds? Is it a lot of time, or is it no time? So I was thinking, okay, how about well, when I reveal 100 records, it will be even faster, maybe not. Go ahead. So now I have 760 microseconds for 100 records. So how about try, and instead of doing go to list of records, do nothing. I'm wondering what is the overhead of just running this test script. So let's try again. And now I get 47 microseconds. So it took only 10 times more, or maybe like few microseconds more to actually restore the list of records. So let's do something very simple, not nothing, but something very simple. Let me only omit one record. Can you think of any operation changing the found set that would be simpler than omitting a record? So let's try this change now. And how long does it take to omit a single record on my computer? And I get 13 microseconds. So when I restore the go to list of records, go here. It's only those 750 microseconds. So it's only about 10 times more than the overhead of a single script step that you can get. So it's really when I, let's say, go to 5,000 records, how much time do I get here? This what I'm waiting for now is the preparation of the test. So don't worry about it. It's taking long. I'm just preparing 5,000 random IDs in a consistent way. But then when I get the dialog, it will actually do the test and going to the list of records. So it should be ready, and go ahead. And here I have 15 or 16 milliseconds to go to 5,000 IDs. If I do the same set of records again, it will be even shorter, I believe, if I recall correctly. So as a reminder, the main difference between those two operations, like the go to related records and go to list of records, as I mentioned last time, is okay, now it's only 16 milliseconds. Anyway, back to shorter list of records. Now, the main difference between go to related records and go to list of records is that in order to evaluate the relationship for the go to related records, I need to have two table occurrences. I need to have where is it? It's using actually this relationship. So I have to have two table occurrences. I need to have them connected through a relationship. I need the keys on one side, and I need a indexed field on the other side. And FileMaker, in order to reveal those records over the relationship, needs to read the index, needs to match all those records that I have on the left side to the index to reveal those records that need to form my found set. If I'm connected to FileMaker server, what happens is that FileMaker Pro unless it has all the index cached on in the local cache, sends the request to the FileMaker server. FileMaker server then does the reading the index, finding those records, and then it's sending the found set back to FileMaker Pro. What happens when you do a go to list of records is that FileMaker Pro already knows everything it needs to build the found set. It doesn't need to read the index, it doesn't need to read the data, it doesn't need to communicate with the FileMaker server at all. It just transforms the list of IDs into a valid found set locally because it has all the information that it needs. That's why it's only negligibly longer time than an empty or very simple script step, because it doesn't need to deal with the data, doesn't need to deal with the indexes. But what we can do further, and this is what I have prepared in the test, and that's why I'm getting the dialog. All the tests in this bench test tool have two parts. One is a wrapper that I'm calling with a button, and then prepares the test data, prepares the test environment, context, everything. And then it runs the script, which I call a core, which is what I'm actually measuring how long it takes. For these specific tests that I built for testing the new features, I added a dialog that lets me in the preparation phase, I just collect the ID, the list of IDs of all those records. And when I click postpone, it does not actually run the test. It just stores the list of IDs into a field. So I can go here and check what's in that field. So here's postpone test data. This postpone test script holds the script name, the name of the. Wait a minute. Why is it not there? Am I actually? It should be there.
No, go back to the developer data viewer. You need to move it into the like go and put it into the expression and then evaluate it.
Oh, I forgot to evaluate it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're right. So
Double
in
click. Yeah, there you
the
go.
script, yeah. So it's when I postpone, I save the name of the script that I intend to run to perform the test, and then in the test data, I actually have the list of the IDs that I want to go to with the test. And because in this case I selected the value number ranges as the format, that's how it's saved in the JSON here. So what I can do now, and that's quite interesting, I can close this file. I can even go to, let's say, delete cache, reopen the file. And now it asks me whether I want to continue with the postpone test now. So I'm no longer going through the preparation phase, which would have impact on the test results, because the preparation itself makes FileMaker load data into cache and things like that. So it gives me a possibility to measure the test more accurately. But it gives me one more thing that I can do. And that's what I'm going to show here. I have a separate copy of FileMaker in a folder which I call FileMaker Pro 22 debug. And in this folder, I also have a clarisconfig.json file, which, by the way, this is not intended for end users or developers. This was intended and invented by Claris for internal use and for technical support. But some years ago, someone published the fact that this exists, and there is no way to unpublish it. So even though it's not officially supported, it is documented publicly now. So in this file, which now takes the form of a JSON, there are things you can call feature flags that you can enable to get some debug logging. And one that actually is quite useful is remote calls. So remote calls is a feature flag that makes FileMaker Pro log every attempt to contact the FileMaker server with a request and every response from the FileMaker server. There are a few more, like I think force output, so that the log is immediately written to the log file when something happens. And I believe I have one more enabled. Yeah, upload download, that can be useful when there are big uploads and downloads, but typically I only get some additional data in the log when uploading containers or downloading. And yeah, and always print is also kind of, I don't know what exactly these feature flags do, but always print and force output together make sure that whatever happens is immediately output to the log file. And I really like one feature on Linux operating systems, including Mac, and there's the tail with the F flag. On Windows, you would have to use PowerShell to get the similar functionality. So this way I can just do a live monitoring of whatever is appended to this log file. So I'll just clear this and run the debug version of FileMaker Pro and open the bench test file again. Now you see a lot of communication between FileMaker Pro and the server is happening. So I can go to this test here, go to the preparation, run the test, postpone, and now I am ready. I'll go back, and now I'm ready to continue. So here I can just clear this terminal window and hit continue to run the test. And you see that not much has appeared in the log. And when I examine what is here, it's actually just the upload list to host commit. This is still happening before running the script. And then it's downloading the script, download script. So because the dialog that I have here is in the wrapper script, not in the inner script, it still does something inside. If I add one more dialog inside the script, the main test. So okay, so here look. Go show dialog. And then another dialog after it's done. Now when I run the test again, go ahead. Now I get a dialog, continue. So now I can clear this log, hit OK, and nothing has appeared here. So you see that to go to the list of records, FileMaker Pro has sent 0 communication to the FileMaker server.
But isn't that the case if you if the records were cached as well? And
Yes.
you used and
Yes, if the records are cached, the same will happen. But let's try one thing. I will do the postpone. Go to list of records. Sorry, I didn't want to run this one. I want to go to related records. Go ahead. Oh, I forgot to add those in that test as well. So let me copy the dialogues to the other test. So that's this one. Okay, save. So go to related records. Now I will postpone it so I can show you in the data viewer that I have actually only collected list of IDs. Again, this case, it's just return the limited list of IDs because it's the only way how I can do it with the go to related records. And I'm going to close the database now, clear the caches. And make sure it's this one, resend, open it again, continue with the postpone test. And now let's see what happens. So you see, it has sent the query to FileMaker server, and FileMaker server was asked to perform the go to the related records and send me the found set back to the client. So now I have a proof that while go to related records may require communication with the FileMaker server, go to list of records does not. And that's the beauty of combining this debug log with whatever you're testing, because you really see what's happening behind the scenes. And by knowing what's happening behind the scenes, you can make more clever decisions on what techniques to use and how to do things in a better way. Because, for instance, if you have a slow internet connection to the server, if you have long latency, and we know that FileMaker is quite sensitive to latency. Latency is the time it takes for the data to travel to the server and the response back. So on a fast network, typical latency is on local network, maybe 2 milliseconds. Actually, today 2 milliseconds are considered long. But if you're connecting to FileMaker server over the internet, the latency may be even hundreds of milliseconds. And now consider this is just one request sent to the server and one response back. If the latency is 100 milliseconds, this is 200 milliseconds delay, only because the FileMaker Pro sends one request to the server and one response back is sent by the server. So even if the actual performing the request takes no time, just sending the request to the server and receiving the response back takes as much time as the latency is between those two nodes. So if you don't have to send the query to the server, you get much better results. So this is one of the reasons why you may want to actually save this time by not forcing FileMaker Pro to communicate with the server. And this debug log, that's a way how you can actually see what's happening behind the scenes between FileMaker Pro and the FileMaker server. There are some other feature flags that may reveal more stuff, what's happening behind the scenes. I don't know most of them, but this remote calls one is definitely the most valuable one that can help you to reveal where you can save some communication between the client and the server. So that's from the probably the biggest message about the performance behind these new features. But let's talk about something else and what we can get from them, because another thing that I mentioned, in order to use go-to-related records, is you need table occurrences, you need a relationship, you need fields, and you need none of this to use go-to-list of records. You can even have a table with no fields in it. I can briefly show in the test file. So in here, this is my test file. So I can create a completely new table. Let's call it no fields. I will delete all these fields from the table. It's still a valid table, so I can create a new layout for it. And base it on this table view. And you see this one has no fields, but I can still create records. And those records still have IDs. So when I omit random records, again, I get a found set. It's a valid found set, even though I don't have any fields. So I can again go get record IDs from the found set, and I get some list of IDs here. I can use this. Let's save it in this form. And now when I do show all, I can still use that test script with the go to list of records. And when I put the IDs here, where was it? Go to list of records. I can still reveal those records again, even though there is no fields there, no relationships, just one table occurrence, so that I can base the layout on it. Oh, it
Have
seems
you
like,
added it? No, you added it when you were in table view. You accidentally
yeah.
clicked in a
Yeah,
column
so I can,
and
yeah,
it created
I
a
can
field.
delete this field. Now we have no fields. And again, even without the fields, if I run the script again, I get the found set. So you see, I need no fields, no relationships, and still can reveal a specific found set. So
That's insane.
it's
Yeah.
it's completely lightweight how to work with the found set. And
Let's do something else. Let's go ahead and yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that it's even sorted.
It's sorted in the, yeah.
So it's
It's sorted.
It's sorted in the order of the IDs that I provided to the script step.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had an idea what to do now. So
Yeah.
tell me.
So go show all the records, or actually delete one of these records that you actually was
Yeah.
and I don't remember now if it's deleting a record that was in your list, but anyway.
I didn't change the record, so I deleted one of
Okay,
them.
so you delete it. Okay, so now what you do is add to your script step an error, trap for an error, and let's show the error when you're actually asking it to go to a list of records, and one of the records in your set is actually missing. So
We just had a question about this. I don't know if you saw that question, Vince, or
no, I didn't see it.
hilariously, we have a question about this exact
Yeah,
thing.
let's get to it in a moment. I'll just run the script as Vince suggested. So now it gives me error 101. I did delete one record, so instead of 11 records, I now get 10 records in the found set.
Mhm.
But I also get an error 101.
Yeah.
which has been added in the recent update released last week, 22.0.2, because in the previews in the 22.01, this was actually failing. If I maybe
It was
even
not returning. Yeah.
yeah. So now I'm getting an indication that the font set is no longer complete.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
that you're not the found set or the list of IDs that you passed it. You're not
Mhm.
getting all of them. You're not getting all of them back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. What was the question, Margaret?
The question was, what happens if you get a list of record IDs, not a range, then delete one of the records? Do you get an error when you run the go-to list of
Oh,
record IDs?
so
Yeah.
even without looking at the question, we actually talked about this right now.
Yes. Also, what if you are using the ranges and delete one of the records in the end of the range? Does that confuse FileMaker?
Yeah. Okay. So let's do show all, and let me delete this record. So it was the record ID 2, I guess. So when I get the list of all records now, you'll see that number 2 is missing. So if I do go to list of records and do the range, and let's do it 1 through 3. So I would expect 1, 2, 3 to be revealed, but because the record number 2 is missing, it will probably give me the same error. So when I run the script now, yeah, so I get the records, 2 records, which are the ID number 1 and number 3, and I get the error 101 because there is a record missing from what my intended font set was supposed to be. Now, important note from FileMaker, you could think about like using this technique by revealing the record IDs and storing that in a field forever, and then 1 year later expecting to reveal that found set if you didn't delete any records. There is an important warning that Clay mentioned that the record IDs are not, the internal record IDs are not guaranteed to stay the same. There are rare situations where they change, but it can happen. For instance, if you migrate records to a clone of the database, that's one case where the record IDs can be simply regenerated from scratch instead of taken over from the source database. I cannot imagine this happening within an existing session. So as long as the database is open and you don't close it, I think it will be a source of big problems if the record ID is changed during for the open database. So that should be safe. So within a session, saving the record IDs and reusing them should be perfectly safe, but I would not recommend storing them permanently for later retrieval. So that's this note, and yeah. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about how we can leverage this, along with the less need for new table occurrences, new relationships, and new fields. And Vince, you are the first person that comes to my mind when talking about less relationships, because when I think it was 2 years ago when you showed what you did for Inspector 8, you mentioned how many relationships, table occurrences you got rid of. So can you talk a little bit about that, why you did that, how you did that, and maybe
Yeah.
elaborate on how you would be doing it if you had this new feature at that time?
Okay.
And
Let me.
maybe would it be possible to show the relationship graph of Inspector
Yeah.
as well?
Let me share my screen. So, if you see my screen, this is Inspector 7.
Yep, we see it.
Okay. So, hold on, let me change the resolution. I apologize, Margaret.
Oh, no, you're
Doing this
good.
on yeah, no, it's I definitely want to
There we
Okay,
go. I'm
there we
sorry.
go.
That's
Yeah, so
ruined all
it's
your
okay.
resolution,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
it's okay. So, okay, so here, this was the relationship graph. If I zoom into full view, this is at 18%. I don't remember now how many table occurrences. I think it was about 600 or something like that. And there was, as you can see, there's a lot of relationships in here. All these have direct one-to-one relationships. A lot of them here, a lot of them there, etc. So, but this was all these tables here are basically and like additional information, and and we're not doing these at this time, or if we're doing them, we're doing them differently by not looking up the data, etc. So that was 7. And so if you get a picture of 7 again, this is 18%, right? If I jump to inspector 8 or 9, which was just released, this is the relationship graph in 9. And as you can see, there's a lot fewer table occurrences, but there's a dramatic reduction in relationships. And I don't remember the exact statement Clay said, but whenever you open a file, there's caching that happens, uh, I guess, based on all the relationships that are there. And
Yeah,
maybe
it's
Hansa.
actually, yeah, it's actually a loop that goes through all the table occurrence groups, and
Uh,
for each table occurrence group, it goes through it creates all the pairs, like all the pairs of two table occurrences which are somehow connected. Uh, it's building a structure that internally is called, I believe, master list of table occurrences, or master list of relationships. And basically, the reason for building this structure is that when you make changes, either to the structure or even to data, FileMaker then goes through this list of all possible connections between table occurrences to find out whether there is something to be updated.
mhm.
So the longer the list is, the
The
longer
more
it
time.
takes to go through it to find out, okay, is there something to be updated? So basically it looks, okay, you change a field A, and then there are 100,000 different relationships from this table to another table. So FileMaker goes through all these relationships and checks, okay, is that remote table available on any open windows? That would imply that it may need to be refreshed. So you can imagine that if you have 10 table occurrences in the table occurrence groups, uh, how many there are possible paths between them. So it's
Yeah.
2 to
And
10, I guess, something like that. It's or is it factorial? Too long from the school, but uh, if you have 10 and if you add one more relationship, you are actually adding 10 more pairs. If you have
mhm.
11 and you add one more relationships, you are adding 11 more. So if you have 1,000 relationships in the table occurrence group and you add one more, you are actually adding 1,000 more uh, items to this um, big structure. And
Yeah.
so you are adding 1,000 more iterations of this loop that FileMaker has to go through every time you make a change.
Yeah. And I
So
think Clay also said that if you have something that has to hop across 1, 2, 3, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think after 5, they don't cache it anymore. They don't.
mhm.
They only go so far, and so there's that as well. But there's a big difference in opening this versus opening opening the prior version where it just opens so much faster. And again, the simplification of your code is something that, we should all be striving to think about. Removing, simplifying a process to be the most basic and simple way that something can be done is something that should always be on our minds. So like HOnza said, now let's say you're looking at a list of records, and if I open up that example I showed last week, if I look at all my grade 6 students here, and this is just again this is just one use case, but again I could multi-select or command click to remove or add records to the selection, and then I could say open, go process these records. So that's one use case, but there's tons of other use cases. So for example, navigation can be completely rethought. You could be looking at a list of records, and you maybe navigate to a different layout and look at a list of customers. And if you go back, all you have to do is store those IDs from the found set, get record IDs from found set. And if you store them, yeah.
Yeah, imagine you're building a solution for a customer, and you have you have a beautiful solution with 100 layouts, and then you're almost ready to give it over to the customer, and the customer comes back and say, okay, when I navigate from here to there, can I have a back button? Have you ever been in that situation without having the back button implemented and trying to explain the customer, okay, I can add the back button, but that's going to be another 100 or 200 hours of work?
Yeah.
Now, what we can do, whenever you navigate from a layout to a different layout, we can just save the found set into a variable or a field in a structure, like have built a history of navigation, and then make a back button just go one step back in that history and use go to list of records to restore that found set.
Yeah. And you can have it be very efficient. You can store the ranges too. So you don't have to store the list of IDs. It could be very efficient.
So building this can be now building this navigation history in the past was so complicated. Now I can imagine that it takes 3 script steps and a script trigger attached to go to, like when you leave a layout.
Yeah. HOnza, if I may, I want to go back to what you said originally about the debug, or what is it called? The really DB debug log and and those flags. So something I haven't been using it as much, but something I've always liked to do is clients say, oh, I have a system, it's slow, and when I'm looking at this list of records, and so what I do is I take a copy of their data, and then I generate a new table with just the raw data. And, I try to make it as bare bones and as simple as possible. And then I say, okay, let's use the release debug log and aggregate how much data and calls you're getting by looking at your data that you currently have versus the new one. And let's say the worst case is when you have like a piece of data there's an unstored calc from another related table in a list view. So those are the worst culprits, because for every one of those records, it has to go fetch the other records to calculate the result because it's unstored. And so when you look at the release debug log and compare these two, there's going to be drastic differences in the amount of calls and the amount of, and the performance it takes to generate that. In the end, if you can strive to build solutions that are transactional and you can store the data, then you're pulling just the raw data from the table. That's going to be the most efficient. And having this knowledge that you get from the release debug log can inform your decisions when you do that. So there's Carl, and I'm going to mispronounce his last name from Soliant.
Carlos Reckley?
Yeah, he does a lot. He gave a lot of talks. If you go do search on YouTube on release debug log and stuff like that, he had done a lot of discussions about that. So worthwhile listening to.
Yeah, I think Carl was actually the first person who presented this method of revealing what FileMaker is doing behind the scenes. But let me briefly share my screen again to show you what I meant with the navigation. So when I go back to FileMaker, where is it? Is it? It's showing on my other screen. So when I go back to the test file, and let's say I have this layout. I changed the font set somehow, and I want to go somewhere. All I need to do is basically, let's say, remember context, and I can do set variable history, and let's make it. I would normally we use JSON, but let's make it easy. Now I'll just use list and add it as a new line. And here I will just do get layout name and some separator and get record IDs from font set. So this way I can in the history and let's do value number ranges as a compact format. And I don't want those number value ranges, right? It's the opposite. Number value ranges and gets no, it was
Oh, hold on. Let me look it up. It's value number ranges.
Value number ranges, and we want to replace the character returns from this to, let's say,
well, you're not going to have. You're going to have carriage returns if you. Oh yeah, that's because it's not JSON.
Value number ranges is character return. So what am I? I'm adding to the history. So this is all I need to remember the context. And to restore the context, I'll go back. All I need to do is or maybe if I do it in a reverse order, it will be easier to work with. So to go back, I just need to do first value from the history. And then remove it from the history. Making typos.
Yeah, it's
the curse of live demos.
Yeah.
And now I'll just go to, let's say, to make it more clear, let's do layout. That will be Yeah, I can will be first value from that. And the found set will be second value, and I need to substitute the commas for carriage returns. And now I can just go to list of records, where the list of records will be found set, and the layout name will be layout. And all I need to do is now I'll set the script triggers to leaving the layout. So when I leave the layout on layout exit, sorry, where is it? Layout exit. I will, where's my store?
I'm not sure if you named it. I'm not sure if you named it. Did you name it?
I probably created it in a folder. Oh, remember, it was remember the state, remember the remember context. So I will just move to a different layout. And now in the history, I should have the layout name and the found set. And when I just run the script, where is it?
Yeah, right there. Go back. Yeah.
Go back. I run the script, it goes back to the layout and restores the found set.
Wow.
And
Cool.
remove it from the history. So with the new feature, I have just written using 2 scripts and just a few script steps, the back button implementation, and it took me like 5 minutes.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
So that's the beauty of this new feature. And this is just one use case out of many that you can think of. There's one thing, one tiny detail that I wanted to mention, which is quite interesting. Let's say I do show all again. I still have that test script here, which goes to specific list of records. So that restores the found set of 3 now. So let's try something else. I switch to find mode and run the same script. Go to list of records. It gives me no error, and it stays in the find mode. I'm not sure whether this is intended. It may be just like oversight on the Claris side. But the interesting thing is when I switch back to browse mode now, I have the found set restored. So it does build the found set. That's why it returns no error, because it has restored the found set, but it did that without changing the window mode.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is another proof that the way how it's implemented behind the scenes is as lightweight as possible. It just builds that found set and does nothing else. It doesn't worry about window context, window mode, anything. It just, in that current context of the current table occurrence, it restores the found set from the list of record IDs, and that's it.
Yeah. I think what you just wrote. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Which is quite interesting discovery. It may be later considered a bug. We may expect Claris to change it so that it actually switches back to browse mode when using this go to list of record script step. But for me, what's more important is that proof that it's really a lightweight script step that does nothing more than what it needs to do, and no communication with the server whatsoever.
Yeah. Very cool. I was just going to say that you wrote this in 5 minutes, but obviously you would want to put error trapping in there and do all this other stuff
Sure,
and
sure,
to check. But
it's still significantly easier to implement this way than it used
yeah,
to be without this new feature.
yeah, very cool. Any questions, Margaret?
Just there's a question about go to list of records ID needing a list of records with a carriage return. Basically, is the carriage return absolutely necessary?
Well, to make it even more performant and more foolproof, I would use a JSON, but it would take me maybe 5 more minutes to implement. It was easier to implement this way in the live demo, but if I was doing it in a real solution, I would use JSON, and I would get another benefit from using JSON, and that's what I talked about 2 weeks ago. That as long as I keep the JSON in memory, FileMaker uses the binary representation of it, and it's even faster to deal with than the list of IDs as a string.
Is it better that it doesn't go to browse mode so you can constrain the found set?
Oh, that's an interesting, and that's why we have this talk today, because we can together get more ideas, and it's definitely nice that yeah, we would have to test it, but if you from that find mode do a constraint, you write that it would start with that smaller found set initially without actually having to uh, load a single record, because that's what would happen in the browse mode. If you go to browse mode, FileMaker loads at least one record. Correct, Vince?
If you go to browse mode, yeah, at least one record if
Yeah.
you're informed.
In a list view, it would load at least 25. In a form view, it will load at least one, maybe three, because it will load the previous one and the next one. So in the browse mode, it will still load some data from the server. If you stay in the find mode, it does not do that.
It's interesting. I wonder what it would do if you say, okay, I went to the list of records and now I want to constrain it. Is that found set of 3 records still there? Like, do you constrain it based on some other criteria?
Yeah, let's try here. I have 3 records. Only one has the Boolean value here. So let's do show all, and let's try to do this. Go to list of records, constrain found set, and let's do. Oh, I can do it manually actually. No need for an extra script. So yeah, so let's do find mode, run the script. This one, get no error, stay in the find mode. So let's type true here and do constrain found set. And yes, it's based on that found set that I recreated with the go to list of records, because if I found all values with true here, I get more. Oh no, I don't. So let's sorry. So let's add true to some other. What did I do? Did I close it accidentally?
Yeah, I think you closed it.
And yeah. So again, so I have at least 2 now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have 2. So when I go for all records, find mode,
yeah.
Go to list of records, and go to constraint found set, I get 1. So, but obviously, it will deal with the data now, but not to perform the find, because performing the find, if it uses an index field, only needs the index. It doesn't need the data. And if it's not cached on the client, it can be done on the server. So what actually happens, if I do this, and I could probably prove that with the debug log, if I go to find mode, go to list of records, and then perform the constraint found set, it's actually going to send the found set to the server and perform the find on the server. And only send the data of the final of the one record that I find back to the client. That's my expectation of what's going to happen. So yeah, we are yet to reveal what the different uses of this new feature can be, because it's just a beginning, and we are getting new ideas every time we talk about it.
I mean, the 4 of them that we talked about is, again, multi-select, the demo that I had, restoring found sets when logging back into a system. I think Johan gave a presentation on this not too long ago. Navigation, which you demoed and built something. Transferring found sets to the server, right, for processing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great example is if you work with WebDirect, when you now we have in the new version we have a protection for back and refresh buttons that the browser actually gives you warning whether you really want to leave the window. But if you go ahead and refresh the window, you lose the session. You get a new session, but the great way use of this is if you keep storing the current context in a global field, in a session field, then what you can do is if you keep the session some unique session identification as part of the home URL, by refreshing the session or the window, you can get the session ID back to a script that will restore the context so easily this way. So you can actually relatively simply achieve a situation where refreshing the WebDirect session will just load whatever you saw in the WebDirect before refreshing the window. So I think we are running over the scheduled time, but if we have any more questions, we are happy to answer them.
Yes, I was letting one type out before I let you both escape. Go to list of records is faster than finding the records in the server.
Yes, definitely. That's what actually I was showing with the with my test, that and he not here in the bench test database here.
I guess the question is, run the script on server, go to the layout, find the records, etc., because it's got to use the index. And what
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Exactly. So any other way to find those records is always going to at least load the index and work with it. Go to list of records does not need the index either. So it's going to be faster at all times.
There you go. Cool. I think we're probably good to wrap up then. Thank you both, seriously, for coming on and doing this. I think this is a really authoritative example of how go-to list of records works and how much faster it actually is, which is fantastic for the community at large. So thank you both for coming in, taking the time to cover this for 2 days. I know it's a lot.
Yeah. It's my pleasure. And if anyone wants to talk about it in more detail, feel free to reach out to us.
Mhm.
On our website, you can even schedule a call with me. If you scroll down, there is a schedule a call button. So that schedules a call straight with me. Or you are all welcome to come to the European conferences. The nearest one is in Hamburg in September, from I believe from the 15th or 16th of September. And of course, the biggest European conference, Engage You, in November. So, are you, Vince, going to both of them?
I'm going to engage you.
You're going to Engage You. Okay. I'm going to both of them, Hamburg and Antwerp.
And
So,
I'll be in Hamburg as well. Yeah.
oh, okay, great.
Yep.
So we both will be in both conferences. So if you have not decided yet and have a chance to participate, come to one of those. We'll be happy to talk to you.
If you
I
want the
sent you.
file, yes.
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
sent you the blog post in case someone wants the file that I showed.
Mhm.
They can download it at the blog post as well. When
Yes.
is your file going to be available, Hansa? Your
Yeah, the
your
updated
update.
bench test.
The updated bench test. It has to go through our internal testings. I'm hoping to have it ready to release before the FileMaker conference in Hamburg.
Okay,
So
in a few weeks.
hopefully within 1 or 2 weeks.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Looking forward to that. Thank you both, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye everyone.